Hello, everyone. Welcome to a mystery hour. This is February 6, 2025, and I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I have a mystery card that I want to share with you today. So we have some dimensions, and if you go onto my business website or business Facebook page, I have it in the group for mystery stamping, but I also have it on my regular business website or business page. Sorry, I keep saying website. And so I've listed the measurements there and the link to get on the Zoom call. So I may start trying to do those on Facebook Live, but for right now, this is how I've been doing things. And so I will look into making it more accessible where you don't have to have the link. But so let's get started with the card. So for Mystery Stamp, this is what I send out for the measurements and different things, and you just kind of follow along, and I will give little hints and different things, but it doesn't mean that you can't change some of the not so much the dimensions, but it could be cardstock, it could be DSP. That's up to you. And I realize it is kind of hard whenever you are getting just the measurements and you don't really know how the card's going to go together, but that's what makes it fun. And a lot of times I will design these ahead of time, and then I have to go off the measurements and make a card. So I kind of get an idea about what it is, how you guys are whenever you're doing the measurements and different things. And so I kind of did that this time. I had them written down and I had designed, but then I waited till yesterday, I believe it was, to go through it, make the card from the instructions so that I would know again if I did a good job with the instructions or not. And I think that I did. So we'll get started with those. So the first part is a card base. And so your card base can actually be, if you wanted to do it different, it doesn't have to be the 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4.25, but that is what I have right now. I'm gonna turn this other light on. There. You could do it the other way. You could do it where it is 4.25 by 11. So if you happen to have one of those and already cut, use that. So it'll just mean that yours will open just a little bit different than mine, but that's fine. This is just, Mystery Hour is just something that I do to try to get where you're using your products and things and your supplies that you have where you're at, and then kind of get those creative juices going. That's what helps me is doing this mystery. Then it makes me have to like think and, you know, be able to explain it and different things like that. So it helps me to stay current with doing, you know, other cards and different things and still coming up with ideas. So I've been doing this at least a couple years. I don't know exactly when I started. I was thinking I started about this time 2 years ago. It might be 3 now. I don't know. But anyway, it's helped me to stay current with, you know, trying to stay up with, you know, new ideas and new layouts and different things. And as of yet, I don't think I have repeated a layout. I maybe have and just didn't realize it, but anyway, it's a lot of fun to do. So I put on there that I'm using thick basic white, and that is what I have here. But I have a second sample that I'm going to show where I use the colored stock that is colored. And then the next piece is 4 by 5.25, and I have that, and I have that embossed. And you can use whatever embossing folder that you have on hand. And so I use this embossing, so it just gives it just a little bit of texture, kind of makes it look like linen. And I put that I'm using white. White does work the best for this, but it does not have to be white. And then I have DSP, and usually what I do is if I lift more than one, I put an A and a B, and then I put whether it's portrait or landscape. So on this one here, it's 2 inches by 5 1/4, and it's portrait, and this is what I'm using, and that's out of that Charming Duck Pond DSP, and I don't know if that's the exact name for it, but that's where this is from. And then for my second one, it's 1 inch by 3 inches, and this is also from that same pack of paper. And that's what's great about Stampin' Up, that if you have a pack of paper, they all coordinate together. Stampin' Up is great about doing that. They'll have like a suite, and the paper all coordinates, and a lot of times they have embellishments that coordinate with it also. And then of course the stamp set and die cuts. A lot of times our die cuts will cut things out of that DSP. And so then the other thing is a piece for the sentiment, and I do have a piece here, and it is, let's see, I think it's a 1/2 inch and maybe 4 inches long. It's just a scrap piece whenever I'm cutting the inside portions or this here layer that's embossed. A lot of times you get a 1/2 inch pieces, and so I use those for my sentiments a lot of the time. And then a die cut piece, pieces that are images. Oh, I skipped one. Die cut circle or other shape. It could be a square, a rectangle, and it can be either cardstock or designer series paper. So for this one, I did designer series paper. For the next one, I did cardstock. And then die cut pieces, images, and decorative embellishments for your card. So my decorative embellishments are from the die cuts of that Charming Duck Pond. And I have the little cattails, and I have the little lily pads, and then I have the little flowers that go with the lily pads. And then for like my image and stuff, I use my die cuts, and I die cutted this duck out of the DSP. So the DSP is wonderful. It works with you for so many different things, and if you by chance don't have the die cuts, you can always fussy cut. But I had the die cuts, so I went ahead while I was die cutting everything else. I ran that DSP through there, and I die cut that out also. And then all these other things are optional. If you want to do an edge die cut, you could. And you could embellish with ribbon. I'm not using ribbon. And you need ink. Stampin' blends if you need to. Like if I had stamped this, I would need Stampin' blends. But if you do use Stampin' blends, use your black Memento ink. And then types of adhesives, it could be Stampin' Seal, tear tape, dimensionals. So we're using dimensionals, and I'm using the liquid glue. So we'll get started. I'm trying to explain it a lot so that people will understand what mystery stamping is, and they may want to join in. But if not, if you didn't get to join me today, then you can catch it on the replay, and I appreciate all of you that do watch the replay. So I'm going to set this off to the side. I did cut it and score it, but I'm going to take my bone folder and crease it well. Then I want to bring in this piece and I'll move those on up. And then I want to bring in my liquid glue. I need to be careful because this is a brand new bottle. I haven't used it yet. I don't want to squeeze it and it come out too fast. And as you see, I'm doing the corners. I do the corners so that they will adhere well. And then doing the edge, especially whenever it is a, whoops, that came out really quickly. Especially if you are doing a piece of embossed paper. There's not as much to adhere to your card itself, and so you need it. There's a lot of grooves, and so I need to put enough on there but not overdo that. So this will be just an 1/8 inch border because we made it a 1/4 inch smaller. All right, and then I'm going to take this piece here and I want to add glue to the back of it as well. There's a notification on my computer and I wish I could figure out what's causing that so I could shut that off, but I haven't figured out what one is always coming on in the middle of Mystery Stamp. So I'm going to put that here. I'm going to give a rough 3/4 of an inch on this side, and I'm trying to line it up with the edges of my embossed piece. And that's pretty right there, doing it that way. Then I'm going to move that out of the way, get my piece here. I'm going to set this off to the side and I want to work on this piece. So I'm going to grab my little cattails and I have my silicone mat right here. So I'm going to lay these down backside up so I can add glue to those and then add them to my circle. So I'm just going to build a bit of a scene. Okay. So this one I'm going to put on first because I didn't put as much glue on it because it is going to hang over just a little bit. And then I'm going to grab this one. And so you could do floral, you could do like a scene, like imagery. You could do it just however you would like to. Trying to kind of, I don't want to cover up all my little cattails. All right, then I'm going to bring in my little lilies. Get that more in the camera. I'm not putting much glue on. Cover that up there. I don't want to glue that one edge all the way down yet. I want to be mindful of that. I want to put a dot of glue here. Can't remember if they're like a lotus or what. I can't remember. Put that one there. And these little bitty ones. And I think I need my tweezers because I can't really get a hold of them. Whoops. They're so little. Kind of hard to hold on to. That. And like that. Now I'm going to add this to my card front. I'm going to use glue. The back side's really pretty too. All right. So I want to be mindful of how they are. I wouldn't want to put it on crooked. And I'll come up here towards this top. Press it down. Then I want to bring this piece in. Add glue to the back of it. Like I said, I'm doing the corners. They're the most important that need glued down. I'm going to slide this up underneath that lily pad. I'm going to line this up over here on the side. And then press the lily pad and the little flowers down. I'm not going to use this flower. All right, so I need to put some dimensionals on the back of my little duck. Put one down here, one up that way. All right, so I'm going to take my backings off, but I want to press them to make certain that they are well adhered. Place him right there. All right, so then I went ahead and stamped my sentiment. And I know it's called Mystery Stamping Hour, but I went ahead and did this ahead of time. But then I wanted to show that I've got a straight edge over here, and see how my Y comes down and then it crosses. So I want to cut in the direction of the Y, like that. And then bring dimensionals in. Oops. There we go. Press those all together. Isn't this a cute card? It's just adorable. It makes me so happy. So I'm going to line that up over here. And it kind of makes it look like he's walking in the water. Get that like that. And there is our mystery card. Here's the one I made before. And here's the one that we just made together. I thought he turned out adorable. But I told you that I did have another card that has some different elements in it. So I stated that it could be cardstock for your shape here. And yes, I was using thick basic white, but you didn't have to do that. And so here is what I came up with, changing that out. So I used a colored base, and I used a cardstock, same circle. And this is out of the Spotlight on Nature. And then this is the, let me see, Flowered Beauty. I have my stamps there, so I had to look at it. This is Flowered Beauty. And so I thought they both turned out very adorable. So I hope this helps with some inspiration. This is a cute little scenery, and this is just a floral. And so I hope that it will help you to change it up. You could do larger flowers. You do not have to do a sprig like that, but I wanted something that was kind of a bold so that it's against the white, but then with the green, it's against the purple. And so with it being on this white circle, I know the backing is white, but, and you could make it a different color if you wanted it to be, you know, the lighter, if you want it to match the base, you could do whatever that it was that, you know, that you have in mind. But now that you've seen the end product, you could take those same dimensions, so you'll have those now and you know what the card looks like, and so they're already typed out. All you got to do is cut your pieces of cardstock in your DSP and you can put a card together. And you can change it up a little bit. If you wanted it, instead of being over to the right, you could put it to the left. And if you wanted it to be a portrait, you just make this piece a little bit longer. And you make this one, you could make it go clear across, but I think the 3-inch would still work doing that. So I hope that you enjoyed today's mystery stamping and that you will join me again in 2 weeks. Every other Thursday, I do mystery stamping unless I'm ill or it's a holiday. So thank you so much for joining me and watching the replay if you are not here live with me. And I do so appreciate all of you. And let me know in the comments what you think of the card or which one is your favorite. So thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, happy stamping.